Welcome to Success Stars, episode number 156, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest today, Shannon Ashkinos. Shannon, welcome.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's cold here in Frisco. I think it's 25 degrees, and you're telling me it's going to be like 1 degree here soon, right?
Yeah, the high on, I think, Monday night. The low on Monday night is going to be 1 degree and 14 for a high. We don't see that a lot here in Texas.
Yeah, we don't see. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I am so glad that we have you on this episode. There's so much to talk about. But first, tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you got into this amazing career of real estate.
Wow, that's actually quite a story. So when I was buying my first house, I was actually widowed and I had 2 kids, and I had this phenomenal real estate agent. She took great care of me, but then she got sick and she handed me over to someone else. And this agent did not take great care of me. All I felt like was the agent just wanted a check. She was showing me houses that were not great. So anyway, getting through that whole process, I was like, I had a heart for getting and helping people like me. I mean, I was widowed. I had 2 kids. I was trying to buy my first house on my own, and I really wanted that guidance and help. And I saw 2 different ends of the spectrum, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to do that for others. So I really got into it to be able to help other, especially women, get into their first house. And so I love helping people, especially the little first-time home buyers. That's always fun because they're so cute.
Well, and we just did a survey of consumers, and it's actually sad in one way, but consumers actually identified the 2 segments that you just identified. They called them door openers, which is the second agent you had, just a door opener, commission chaser, and they called the others value-added consultants. And these are labels consumers use. So the value-added consultant is what you first experienced and what you model for others.
Yes, most definitely.
Well, so you're a mom, you're a wife, you have a career, you serve in your community, and more. How do you keep all that straight and do all that?
Well, it's interesting because at different periods of my journey, I did it all differently. And it's depending on what the needs were. So I've been in real estate now for 25 years. I got into it when I was 23, I think. I had 2 kids, like I said. And then shortly thereafter, I had a third one come along. And during those times, one of the things about real estate that I absolutely love is that it can be whatever you make it. If you want to be a top producer and just going and going and going, you can do that. If you want to be a mom and be, I would say, a good producer and make a good living and still have a quality of life with your family, you can do that. And that's what real estate did for me. During the younger times, I always laugh because at 2 o'clock, from 2 to 6, I was like a taxi. I picked up my 3 kids from school and we did all of the different stuff. And I would sit in the car and actually work from the car while I was waiting for them from football and soccer or whatever else we had going on. But it allowed me to be there for them, to take them to school, to pick them up, to put them to bed. And most of the time when they went to bed, I had about 3 hours worth of work that I always did.
Yeah. Wow. So it gave you a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom and still ability to provide for your family.
Yes.
Now, you've gone on to build your career, and now you're our vice president of career development and mentorship. You're leading 65 coaches, 65 mentors, and over 400 mentees in a program. How did you transition from, being a solo agent and selling real estate all the way up now to leading one of the nation's, best mentorship programs?
Well, It's really, God just led me. I started teaching at another brokerage. I was just doing a little trainings here and there. And then at the association, I started doing some trainings and writing some stuff for them. And God just led me to JPAR after that. And it really started out to be, hey, can you do this? It's going to really kind of be part-time. It's not going to take a lot. And come to find out that was not true.
Never
This
is it?
more than a full-time job, which I absolutely love because
Right.
I love training people up. I love seeing that light bulb come on, and I love being able to give them a place to be able to grow if that's truly what they want. You know, in reality, it is what you make it. So you're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Right.
If you think that it is going and having, you know, lunch with your best friend all the time and calling that real estate, you're not going to be in it very long because it does take a lot of work.
Well, speaking of that, what have you observed, whether it's the mentor who's the coach or the mentee who's the trainee? What have you observed in both of those that make them successful or, quite frankly, lead them to failure?
Mindset. Honestly, it's mindset, it's work ethic. If you look at things and you're like, this is too hard, or I just don't have the time, which is not true. Everybody has the same 24 hours a day. So what you think is important is what you're going to go to work for and what you're going to do. And if you think that doing other things is more important, then real estate is going to fall to the side. So I definitely think that it is mindset. Those who see it as an opportunity, a lot of times, like myself, I had to make it work. You know, I was widowed. I had 2 kids, and
You didn't have a choice.
no, and I actually, when I got into real estate, I had 3 jobs. JPAR would have never brought me on.
Right, right.
I
You had to have 3 jobs just to survive.
I did. I was a waitress. I was also a children's minister, and I was starting my real estate career. So, and I had 2 kids,
Wow.
and it did take a lot of time, but I think for those who want it, you will find that time.
Well, so many times I hear folks who want to get into this, well, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and they have no discipline. They're running away maybe from the discipline of accountability, let's say in corporate America. But if you don't have the discipline and accountability in your own way in this business, you're gonna fail. Is that right?
That's exactly right. I have like 2 things that I use all the time. One is my calendar, and my other is my reminders. So I was telling somebody the other day, I look at my email. If it takes me less than 2 minutes, I'll take care of it. If it needs deeper attention, it goes into a reminder. And if it's an appointment, it goes on the calendar. And then I have times that are blocked to where I have certain things that I do. And I think that you need to do that no matter where you are and who you're with, because you can put your family time on there. My family time was always on there. You know, whenever it was like dinner time and everything else, those times were blocked. So I believe that putting things, scheduling them is really a big, tremendous help for somebody that really doesn't have a lot of structure.
Right.
It's a good place to start.
For sure. Now, besides your career development and leadership responsibilities here at JPAR, you've also gone on to do leadership at the regional and state level. Tell us what kind of motivated you to get involved in that.
Actually, I would say about 10 years ago, the leadership, my other broker that I was at, she was phenomenal, was very involved, and she got me involved. So I think that it was just that little push. And then once I got there and started making those connections, being involved with your local association is very beneficial to your business too, because you're networking and you're building and you're growing off of these people and you're serving as well. And one of the things that I fully believe is once you start serving, you're looking at your job as servant attitude instead of leadership attitude, or I need to make a buck kind of attitude,
Got
you'll
it.
flourish.
You're making a difference to not only your own business, but your industry and your community.
Yes, most definitely.
Well, as we wrap up this episode, what advice would you give anybody on keeping the business moving forward during this crazy time of COVID and inventory shortages and all the things that are being thrown at us? What if we were having coffee and saying, "Hey, help me"? What advice would you give us?
I would say number one, breathe and relax and know that it's going to be okay. Number two, work on your business. Focus on that. Get yourself organized. Go out. Start making connections. Start talking to people. Even if you are creating virtual meetings with your sphere, your past clients, start having some of those conversations and not about real estate necessarily. Just start making the connections again.
Right. Yeah. So it really is all about relationships, right?
It truly is. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's really not the brand. It's not the tool or widget you have. Your biggest asset is the relationships you have within your closest inner circle.
It absolutely is. And that's how I've run my business ever since I got into it, is by referral. We have people coming back to us even now. We're still selling real estate. Even though I have a full-time job, these people are like, well, I don't want anybody else. I'm like, well, okay, I'm here for you.
Right.
And because of the processes and things that I have in place already, we're able to do that.
Yeah, you're able to service their needs.
Yes.
Well, what an amazing episode. I can't wait to get this published and out there. Thank you for your servant leadership, for everything you do for all of us here at JPAR and in the industry as well.
Thank you. I love it all.
Yeah. And with that, that's the episode number 156. And until we see you again, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. Take care.